This is a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.
I'd like to call to order the Brighton Central School District Board of Education reorganization meeting of July 2nd, 2020. The first order of business is the election of the Board of Education President for the 2020-2021 school year. Are there any nominations for office of the President? May
I nominate Mark Hakanovich.
Second.
Okay, I have Andrea Costanza making the motion and Karen Hatch seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? No. Okay. The second order of business is the election of the Board of Education Vice President for the 2020-21 school year. Are there any nominations for the office of the Vice President?
I
I
nominate,
nominate Julian Gilbert.
and I second. Oh, we all second. Larry second.
So I have Karen Hatch making the motion and Larry Davis seconding the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Mark Hakanovich will serve as president for the Board of Education for the 2020-2021 school year, and Julian Gilbert will serve as vice president for the 2020-2021 school year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim, and thank you, board. On behalf of Julian and myself, we appreciate your confidence in us as a leadership team, and really look forward to our group of 7 moving forward in the way that we have been as a collaborative team. And we're very pleased today to introduce formally, I guess, and welcome formally, and we will do that in a minute, but Dr. Sue Gasparino, our newest board member, and Sue is here with us today. So formally, I guess, welcome, Sue. As we begin, first of all, please, a motion to approve the agenda for today.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Larry and seconded by Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think today, Kim, I'm sorry, I think today we can, given the nature of this meeting, I think we can do the verbal,
Okay,
if that's okay with you.
perfect.
Okay, great, thank you. Next up, please, a motion for approval of the minutes from the June 23rd business meeting.
So moved.
Second.
That was moved by 2 people, Karen, I think. No?
Julian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Andrea, and a second, I think, was Christina, correct? Does anyone have any additions, corrections, deletions to the minutes? And this one, technically, Sue would abstain from this vote only because she was not in attendance at that. Oh, well, she wasn't officially in that meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We do offer the opportunity for public participation, and if there's any, are there any members of the public who are with us today on our Zoom broadcast who wish to make a comment or ask a question of the board? If you would let me know, I guess verbally at this point, we would allow the opportunity to participate. All right, hearing and seeing that we have none this morning. Shocking, really, given the thing, but we will continue to move on. At this point, we have a lengthy agenda that is sort of a perfunctory type agenda that every year at this time, the organization has to put into place a number of individuals and procedures and practices that govern our business for the entirety of the school year. And that's what the bulk of today's agenda is, which is posted on the website. So what I'm going to ask that we do, first of all, is we have a section 6 on the agenda, beginning on page 2, letter item B, appointments for 2020 and 2021 school year, which includes also the oath of office approval for new board members and district officers. What I'm going to ask for in a moment is a motion to approve letter B, items 1 through 32. And you will see, if you look at your agenda, board members, which we've had, that takes us up through the committee work of the board, and then we'll handle that in a separate motion if that's okay. And also, I make note that by approving the oath of office for new board members today in this action, board members typically in Brighton sign their oath of office, not their, we don't do it verbally. So what Kim will do is prepare all of our oaths and make arrangements to stop by the office at your convenience to sign those, and then we'll have that formally done, if that's okay. So I guess what I would ask at this point is a motion, please, to approve the appointments as listed under B, items 1 through 32.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was, did we get that? Julene and Karen, I'm sorry. Julene made the motion, Karen made the second. Any further discussion on any of those appointments? And for those who may, these are specific appointments for individuals who have to hold these functions for the school year. So I think we're pretty straightforward there. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Next up, under letter item B in that section, items 33 through 36. These are board committee assignments. I have reached out. We've had some conversation previously about with each of you, your willingness to continue or your desire to make changes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list what I believe we've where people are on this, and then I would ask for a motion. And Kim, I can give you in writing too, but it's pretty straightforward. Item 33, representatives to the Monroe County School Boards Association Standing Committees. Under Legislative Committee, that would be Karen and I continuing in that role. Labor Relations Committee, Larry would join this year, Andrea, and serving in that role. Great add, by the way, Larry, in your background. Of course, you can't replace Marv, but, you know, just changing chairs. Information Exchange Committee, that would be Julene and Christina continuing in that role. And then what we would do, and we've done this in the past, is encourage a new board member coming on and onboarding, Sue in this case, to serve in sort of an at-large role, attending as many of the Labor Relations and Information Exchange Committees as she can. And we're also going to encourage her, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and PTSA to assist in that regard. PTSA would continue to be Andrea and Christina sharing that role. And I know one of the things that they worked out last year was evening meetings, day meetings when one couldn't make it. So that seemed to be well done for us, and we'll encourage Sue to help out in that area also as part of, I guess, would say professional development. The other item that's listed in there, and I have to get into this a little bit further, and I'll get back to Kim, but the Genesee Valley School Boards Institute, which actually technically now is called the Upstate Institutes for School Board and Staff Development, and I'll give Kim that language. That's an organization housed under Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES. Marv has long standing been a member of that board. I believe, Kevin, you're a superintendent on that board currently too. Marv would like to continue in that role. I don't really know about that process procedure-wise, so let me check into that. So for today, I would say that let's list that as a TBD. I have to just check into it after looking at it a little bit clearer. I don't know as we can make that designation, I guess is what I'm saying, but I will check into that further. So for today, that's to be determined. And then representatives to the individual Brighton schools, 36. That's something that we do have to designate, and it's been our procedure forever, almost, that I know of, to designate the Board of Education as a committee of the whole as far as representatives to the 4 school buildings. So if all are on board, I would ask a motion to approve B 33 through 36 with those additions that I've just, with those designations, I guess, that I've just given. So a motion, and then we'll have a discussion if there is any.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Andrea, seconded by Christina. Does anyone else have anything further they would like to add to that or conversation on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Next up, I would ask for a motion to approve letter C, items 1 through 13. These are authorization for specific district officials to perform legally required functions. They are all listed on the agenda. They include budget transfers, construction change orders, depositories and temporary investments, payroll certification, school lunch prices, cooperative bidding, purchasing contracts, approvals for conference attendance, petty cash funds, facsimile signature for treasurer, mileage reimbursement rates, disposable of district assets, applications for grants and aid, and employment of necessary personnel. So those 13 items designate who and how those items will be handled. A motion, please, to approve C 1 through 13.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Karen, seconded by Christina. Does anyone have any questions or comment on any of those?
I have one question.
Yep.
In the petty cash fund for the school lunch program, Council Rock, French Road, and TCMS are $60 and BHS is listed as 400. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's standard. I mean, the numbers have changed over time, but the ratios, I think that's reflect
Okay.
the activity at those buildings is what I would say. Kevin, is that accurate?
Yep. Bigger kids, just a different need.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comment or question does anybody have? All in favor then?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Next up, letter D, designations. This would be our official newspapers. We are required to make those designations. So a motion, please, to approve the designation of official newspapers under letter D.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Andrea, seconded by Larry. And as you see there, that typically we resolve that the Daily Record and or the RBJ and or the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle are designated as the official newspapers. This is required for legal notices, bids, things like that. Any question or comment? Does anybody have any in that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then letter E under that section, approval for bond for treasurer and the school business official. May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jolene, seconded by Karen. As you can see, this is the bonding that's required to cover school district employees that are in those functions. So any question or comment on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 7, approval. It says RAN, it's actually BAN. No need to change that, right? Really, it's in the minutes are fine. It's bond anticipation notes involving our next round of financing to the bond market for our capital project. So maybe we have a motion to approve that resolution, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Karen. And I just make a note that we got that in the agenda and it's there for view. This is a $12 million bond anticipation note that's going to go out to the market. It's financing for our next phase of capital project. And the one thing I would just make note of for the group, we have done an outstanding job of, we go to the market when we need to borrow the money. We have a very, Lou and our consultants are on top of that and running this very carefully and close to the vest. We don't borrow money until we need it. And we are also being, as it turns out, given all the circumstances in the world, our borrowing costs are ending up mostly less than what we anticipated. So we are doing better in that regard. And that's what that resolution is about. And it requires our approval when they come about. So anybody have anything further on that or question or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then finally today, our consent agenda, including a number of items that you see there, typically in a consent agenda. And again, the majority of these are items that require approval for the entirety of the school year. So I will make note of a couple interesting things. I did happen to notice timely under the fundraising activities, the girls swimming and diving is conducting an online sale of masks and neck gaiters. So I think through January is what the list says.
We've enrolled them all in the entrepreneurship class too, on a related note.
Really, yeah, I did see that, and I was reading it out loud, and my wife said, "Oh, where's the website? Let's buy some more." Anyway, and we also have 2 gifts that you see listed there. A gift actually from the Community Foundation. I believe this comes to us every year from the David L. Beato Memorial Scholarship Fund, in the amount of $1,000 from his family, and also a gift from the Devarakonda family in the amount of $250 to Brighton Central School District to be able to use to help students in need continue undergraduate education. So we appreciate those two gifts to the district. May we have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second. Oh.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Christina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. McGowan, any further items of business for this morning, sir?
Nothing at all.
Larry,
It will be a busy summer. I mentioned to the board earlier, so for anybody who's listening, watching, or taking in the recording later, we are anxiously awaiting reopening guidance from first the governor and then the state ed department. We have gathered feedback at this point. We will gather feedback if needed and if possible. In other words, if there are items that are negotiable or decision points for the district. And as soon as we possibly can, we'll be talking to our families about reopening. We are in a holding pattern right now, other than internally thinking about all the different possibilities and planning as best we can with the information we have right now. So we're not sitting still, but there's nothing yet to communicate to the community until we receive more from the state. So we're anxious for that. And I know the community is as well. And we'll be working on our strategic planning through the summer, the blueprint plan. A group met on Monday, about 100 people from throughout the district to work on that with us and give us feedback. We will provide that information as the summer progresses as well.
Great. Thank you for that update. And I think the key item is we will provide information as needed through the summer. I anticipate us continuing to communicate with the community on a fairly regular basis, not 3 times a week or so, but on a fairly regular basis as needed through the summer. So thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Board members, anyone else? Any further items of business?
Yeah, I'd quickly say, Mark, there's a ton of work going on this summer. Thanks to Lou and the buildings folks for all of the work that is continuing. And they're going great gangbusters. So I hope in the fall we have a chance to, as a board, to go look at some of the work that's been completed. But kudos to the buildings team because they got a very busy summer ahead of them.
Well, thank you, Larry. Thanks for the update, and also thanks for that reminder. I just added it to the to-do list. We do. That's a great idea, a great point. It's been a while since the board together has toured facility project work, and yeah, I don't know as we need to do it over the summer because it's the most hectic time. But we probably should look at September phasing and
Yep.
Find your hard hats, and we'll have to get Sue her own hard hat, and we'll go forward on that again. Does anyone else have anything else further this morning that they would like to bring up? Then what I'm going to do in a moment is ask for a motion to adjourn, but I'd like to ask the board and Kevin to stay on for a moment, if you would, everybody. But motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
So
So
moved.
moved.
So
Second.
moved by Julene, seconded by Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, board and Kevin stay. Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned. Enjoy your July.
This has been a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.